So you want to get into this lore?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, so like I said, we're doing all the antagonists going from Fallout 1 forward. Who do you think the antagonist of 76 is?
Bethesda Software.
Okay, you made the joke. I didn't. Thank you. So we're going to do all of them. We're going to go from 1 forward. And we're going to start with the OG, the endgame boss, the Master. The Master of the Super Mutants, and this is all off of Fallout.fandom.com. And for the protagonist, antagonist, I like to read right from the wiki so I don't leave anything out. The Master of the Super Mutants was the founder and leader of the Unity, a mutant-led organization dedicated to the transhumanist transformation of mankind in post-nuclear California. By the time he was encountered by the Vault Dweller, the Master was a hybridized amalgam of several dozen humans and other mutants, as well as the Cathedral's computer network, speaking in multiple voices and switching between them on the fly. The Master's end goal was to create a new race of humanity using FEV. One that could thrive in the post-apocalyptic conditions of the world, and to rid humanity of its differences and reasons of waging war. The Master's race of mutants would be dubbed super mutants. Colloquially, that's a fun word, by most, and would become a permanent presence throughout California and neighboring areas, and a long-lasting reminder of the Master's attempt to reform humanity. Alternatively, alternative names include the Master's birth name, Richard Monroe, the pseudonym adopted after his exile.
Morrow.
Sorry?
That's Morrow.
Richard Morrow? You wouldn't say Moreau?
Yeah, it sounded like you said Monroe.
Did I?
I think it doesn't really matter. But I actually I know a fun fact about his namesake.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to it later.
So Richard, how would you say it then?
Moreau
Okay, yeah. Richard Moreau, the pseudonym adopted after his exile from Vault 8. Richard Gray, and a variety of names used to refer to him, including Holy Flame, Dark God, Father Hope, and a few others. The Master is the antagonist of Fallout. Encountered at the Cathedral, destroying him is required to eliminate the mutant threat. Although, meeting the Master in person is entirely optional.
I didn't know that.
He is voiced by Jim Cummings and Kathleen Suis. Jim Cummings does Pooh Bear.
Pooh Bear is the Master?
So, like, if every time I hear the Master, he's like, your choice is to join Unity. Will you join us or die? Join us, die. Join us, die. Or it's fucking whatever. All I think is, oh, bother. Like, the whole time. So, the origins of Richard Moreau, he was born before the Great War, and little is known about his past except for the fact that he was one of the lucky few who found shelter in Vault 8. During the Great War, 1 year after the vault opened, in 2092, Moreau had the dubious distinction of being one of the first dwellers to be exiled. The accusation was murder, though the circumstances are unknown.
Murder?
What?
Murder?
You're cutting out heavy.
Murder?
Moreau changed his last name to Gray and headed south towards the coast. He eventually reached the newly found hub, more than 400 miles to the south, and established himself as a doctor there. But that's not in-game? Non-game 1. What does that mean? Let's see what that means. Oh, that's in the Bible. That's in the Fallout Bible.
Mm-hmm.
He became popular, especially with one of the caravan masters by the name of Harold, who considered him a brilliant doctor and philosopher. His story could have ended there if it wasn't for the ill-fated expedition to the Mariposa military base. Undertaken by himself, Harold, Francine, Mark, and a handful of others in 2102, on June 23rd, the party was attacked by mutants inhabiting the base and suffered further casualties while breaking in. In the base's center, Harold and Gray were suddenly struck by a mechanical crane. Harold was only injured and managed to escape, but Gray was knocked into one of the vats of goo. His wounded state combined with the extreme long-term exposure to the FEV precipitated his transformation into the horribly mutated mass known as the Master. After he regained consciousness and dragged himself from the vats, he continued to mutate in the week-long immersion. The mutation eventually stabilized enough for him to notice his greatly increased mental capacity, capable of reasoning the most complex of philosophical questions. He began experimenting on animals, infesting the military base by exposing them to the virus. When he dipped a rat and a dog into the virus at the same time, the resulting fusion inspired him to begin formulating a philosophy of unification, laying the groundwork for the unity. However, experiments were frustrated by a lack of subjects or understanding of the virus. In December of 2102, following a series of directed mutations by injecting doses of the virus into various areas of his mutated body, Gray gained the ability to neurolink with computers, allowing him to access the base's databanks. Aided by the data, he began experiments on humans who strayed into the facilities without much luck. Finally, January of 2103, he finally isolated radiation exposure as a critical factor affecting transformation success. The first successful super mutant was assimilated by Gray as a fellow mind, creating the Master Hive Mind. The unity began in earnest as the Master began to gather test subjects from local human communities. The process was slow and hampered by their scarcity, but over the next 30 years he built up a small force of super mutants until the Great Winter of 2130 convinced the Master that this is no longer feasible. In 2131, the Master decided to focus on acquiring subjects from caravans that crossed the wasteland in ever-increasing numbers. The human settlements were oblivious to the true nature of the raids, blaming them on wasteland monsters. Their ignorance allowed the army to grow tremendously. By 2137, there were enough super mutants to sustain mass production. While the success rate was between 15 to 20%, with half going to join the Master's army, it grew rapidly into a potent military force. The resulting army was named Unity by the Master, becoming the foundation of his vision for humanity and the world. The next 15 years, the Unity would expand over New California, striking from the shadows. The Cathedral. In 2152, the Master enlisted the aid of Morpheus and his doomsday cultists. Okay, cool. Just a little background. Morpheus is just the leader of the children of the cathedral who had a what do you call it? Cult ahead of time.
Is he red or blue pilling?
In 2152, the Master enlisted the aid of Morpheus and his doomsday cultists. Realizing the benefits of retaining unaltered humans in his service to act as spies throughout the region, the Master recruited Morpheus' cult into his service, thereby expanding his power and thus creating the children to act as the Unity's public face as well as maintain scarcity. Just 3 years later, in 2155, the Unity experienced a breakthrough in its operations. After apprehending a caravan of vault dwellers from the Los Angeles Vault, a vault prototype, the Master transferred his command along with his immense and pervasive body to the vault and ordered Morpheus's cult to renovate the building above the vault, establishing the cathedral and its children. The cult became known as the Children of the Cathedral and continued to be led by Morpheus, who reported directly to the Master. The cathedral was guarded by Nightkin, which were super mutant elite troops equipped with Stealth Boy technology. The vault itself provided a wealth of information to the Master and the Unity. Most importantly, the locations of other vaults. Super mutants began searching the suspected locations, gathering prime subjects for the super mutant conversion. Not all operations were successful. The detachment sent to investigate Bakersfield and Vault 12 would end up engaging the ghouls living amongst the ruins, with fighting only ceasing when Set brokered a ceasefire, explaining that ghouls were what remained of Vault 12. A garrison was left behind to ensure Set's cooperation and apprehended the occasional human passing through. I think this shit is so fucking neat.
It's so well thought out.
Yeah. So this goes into the Master's destruction, the steady expansion of the Unity operations and preparation for the attack on New California, spearheaded by the children of the cathedral, seemed impossible to prevent. However, the Master did not account for the Vault Dwellers' interference, who managed to uncover the plan while retrieving a water chip for Vault 13. Surprised into action by Overseer Jorsarin, still not sure how to say this man's name, on March 3rd.
Yeah, we still haven't figured out how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, Jackarin.
After all this time.
Jorsarin. The Overseer. Jacoby. On March 3rd of 2162, he infiltrated the cathedral and destroyed it with a nuclear weapon, killing the Master. The Unity retaliated by attacking the Necropolis?
Really?
Yeah, I don't understand why. Trying to locate the Vault Dweller, but it was too late. On April 20th, less than 2 months after the death of the Master, the Dweller delivered the killing blow to the Unity by destroying the Mariposa military base. Although he disappeared into the wasteland, the Brotherhood of Steel picked up where he left off, driving the super mutants away with a minimal loss of life on both sides of the conflict, establishing itself as a major power in the wasteland, but wisely remaining out of the power structure. Surviving super mutants would attempt to integrate into society or find a new life for themselves, with one of the most notable attempts being Broken Hills, founded by Marcus and Paladin Jacob in 2185, a place where regular and mutated humans could live side by side. Yet other groups migrated away from New California, north and east, looking for places to settle. The original idea for Hoover Dam was that it was a mutant settlement.
Huh.
In what was supposed to be Fallout 3, that was Van Buren.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Kaiser is in it. Or at least the ending of 3 would bring in Kaiser. But Joshua Graham is in it to an extent, and I think so is Ulysses.
But obviously it's a very different game than what we got.
Oh yeah, someone's remaking Van Buren from like the assets that they have, and the story that they know about.
Like in 2D?
Yeah, like in that like 2D, 3D turn-based style. Like someone's trying to remake, like it's isometric and shit.
That's really cool and probably going to be DMCA takedown.
I don't know. That's the thing, like, I don't understand IP law, because if they're putting it out for free, I don't see the problem.
Yeah.
Like, the game never came
we'll
out.
Have to see.
Like, it's not a real, like, it's a quote-unquote not a real game.
Yeah.
But, I'm not saying that what the game the guy is making is not real. I'm saying that the Van Buren never came out. The original Fallout 3 never came out. So, the Unity itself the Master is the creator and the leader of the super mutants. He's also the mastermind behind the Unity, the aim of which is to turn every human into super mutant by means of FEV or by force if necessary. He claims that those who cannot be mutated by the virus, as well as those who choose not to be, will be allowed to live. They'll be allowed to live, provided they submit themselves to sterilization. Those that resist the Unity outright will be executed for trying to stand in the way of the Master's progress. In theory, the Unity is for humanity's own good, as super mutants are better adapted to live in a post-nuclear wasteland. Also, according to the Master, turning all living beings into one single race would finally eliminate the differences and the human facilities that ultimately brought about nuclear war. However, the Master is unaware of the fatal flaw in his plan. All super mutants are sterile. The Vault Dweller can help Vree, a scientist of the Brotherhood of Steel, come to this conclusion, and later use this information to convince the Master that his endeavor has no chance of success, or, if they decide to join the Unity, ending will show the Vault Dweller being turned into a super mutant, and then show the Vault 13 residents being killed by super mutants. This ending is non-canon, however, because of Fallout 2. A little bit of the legacy of the Master. Several mutants led the armies after the fall of the Master. Remnants of the Master's armies, such as those led by Tabitha, were found to relocate to inhospitable regions such as Black Mountain. However, despite their lacking numbers and remote locale, they still found to pose a threat to the populace of the Mojave Wasteland due to frequent and brutal attacks carried out against travelers. In his attempt to become the master of all humanity, the Master tried to create guardians through gene splicing, but was stopped by the Vault Dweller before he could complete his plans. However, some of his creations had outlived him and continued to roam the wasteland. These abominations included centaurs and floaters, which are often found together, as though they feel some sort of kinship for one another. Alrighty.
This is a very big lore.
Yeah. The Master's traits, powers, and abilities. The Master began life as an intelligent... I don't like the way that's written. As a sophisticate, but otherwise an ordinary human. It was until... That really fucking bothers me. As an intelligent. Yeah, like an intelligent, like that's like an adjective. Like
as an intelligent being?
Like it just says the Master began his life as an intelligent... Oh, I'm sorry. The Master began his life as an intelligent, but otherwise ordinary human.
I got you. That's how it flows.
Yeah, but I read it as just as an intelligent. But otherwise ordinary human. It wasn't until the expedition into Mariposa that he began to evolve. Randomly at first, but then modifying himself with additional doses of the FEV. The virus increased his naturally high intelligence over time. And then he later fused with robotics. Although humans found his appearance repulsive, the evolution provided a countermeasure. It increased the Master's natural charisma and unlocked his latest psionic talent. His latent psionic talent. Already gifted with a silver tongue, Moreau became able to persuade others with impeccable reason, logic, and in-depth understanding of psychology. Utilizing both, the Master rallied an army of How would you say that word?
Wait, which word?
Psychophalians? Rallied an army.
Sycophantically.
Utilizing...
Would you like a definition?
Sure.
Sycophantically, a person who uses flattery to win favor over individuals wielding influence. And it's based on the word sycophant.
Cool. Utilizing both, the Master rallied an army of sycophantically devoted humans and super mutants.
Close enough.
What? How did I say it?
Wrongly, but close enough.
How do you say it?
Sycophantically.
Say it again. Sycophantically. Utilizing
That
both.
word should be banned.
I like this word a lot, though. Utilizing both, the Master rallied an army of sycophantically devoted humans and super mutant followers around him. A few capable of withstanding the strength of his argument would have to concede in the face of the argument of strength. His growing army of super mutants made possible by resolving the problem of pre-war FEV. However, it is with the psychic powers that were the most powerful asset to that the Master had. Long-term exposure to the FEV gave him the ability to penetrate the mental defenses of others, preying on their greatest fears and breaking them. His control over them was limited, and those members of the Unity or the Children were granted an audience with him were required to wear psychic nullifiers to pass through the corridor of Revulsion?
Yeah.
Psychic projection that extreme...
This lore gets so fucking deep, dude.
Yeah, holy shit. The passive psychic fields he generated, otherwise they risked physical damage. Finally, the Master was integrated into the Los Angeles Vault ever since the move from Mariposa. As the biomass and the numbers of humans and mutants he assimilated increased, the Master integrated himself into the vault with the tendrils spreading throughout the facility and burrowing themselves into the underlying technology. By the time the Vault Dweller arrived, the interior of the vault was dotted with human appendages, extensions of the Master's growing body. The most stunning display was, of course, the Overseer's chambers, where he grew into the command chair. However, the Master neglected to distribute his nervous system in a similar way, and the primary brain was still located within the body that assimilated the post and the vault's main computer.
This is fucking insane.
Yeah.
The writing for the original game was something
Fallout
else.
1's writing is incredible. Like, it's
art.
It's so bleak. It's so dark. It's
so detailed.
Yeah, it's just so fucking...
Can I share a little fun fact? Or
sure.
At least I think it's a fun fact.
Sure.
So his name was Richard Moreau. And though it's not listed on this page, there is a book that was released in the 1896, science fiction by H.G. Wells. It is called The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, is it based on that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's his namesake is based on that, because Dr. Moreau is a mad scientist who creates human hybrid beings with animals.
No fucking way.
I think that should be in the fun fact section of this wiki. But
there is no notes section. Well, there is a note section, but yeah.
I would bet, if I were a betting gal, I would bet that was the namesake for the Master.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, like, doing mutations, it's kind of the Master's gig.
Yeah. There's a thing here in the art section. I might put it on screen.
In behind the scenes, there's a thing.
All right,
the Master's true name. All right, yeah, we'll get to that.
Because I'm gonna go to that next. But I'm gonna put it on screen. It'll be on screen now. This is what originally 76 was like supposed to be. It was like a Fallout MMO that Bethesda wound up suing over, and they won. I'm pretty sure. And there is a TV that says, "Please stand by." You'll see it on screen. And there's these like photographs. And there's like a Vault Dweller guide or something and a gun on a table. And in the desk is carved "The Master Lives," and then under it is Harold with like a heart next to it. But this, I remember, was like the teaser trailer. It says Free Range Brahmin, there's a Nuka, like How to Eat Rat.
Where is this? I don't see this.
It's at the bottom of the wiki. Like where all the art is.
Oh, yo. The Master Lives.
Yeah, that was supposed to be... That was supposed to be like Project V13, I'm pretty sure.
No shit.
Yeah. But to the notes, real quick. He has 4 voices, the Master, 1 robotic, 2 male, and 1 calm, 1 angry, and a female one. Harold speaks of him fondly and seems to have enjoyed him as a friend and seems sad about what had happened to him in Mariposa. In Fallout 3, Harold states that he remembers a friend who fell into the FEV vats at Mariposa, but does not explicitly state any names.
And that was more of like a nod from Bethesda.
Fallout New Vegas, the Master is mentioned by several characters, Tabitha and Rhonda, the 2 hosts of Black Mountain Radio, Lily Bone and Marcus, along with some of the fellow super mutants in Nightkin and Jacobstown, Davison, leader of a small band of Nightkin in the Mojave Wasteland. Calamith Bob mentions that mean son of a bitch is a Master's is of the Master's army. The Lonesome Drifter mentions the Master and the Unity in his song Home on the Wastes. Dog, God, Dean Domino, and Elijah reference him in the Sierra Madre, and I remember
the
recently,
Sierra Madre's got pretty deep story, and I want to go back and reanalyze it.
I wish I could just have like as a ringtone. The hard part isn't finding it. The hard part is letting go. Like I wish that wasn't long. Like I wish I could. I just love that.
I'll play it at your funeral.
Please. Brotherhood of Steel, there's a reference to him during one of the dialogues in the Secret Vault. And in Project V13, the webpage introduction, the phrase "the Master lives" is scratched into the desk. So I was kind of right.
So I didn't even scroll down. I just kind of went off on my own wiki journey. But on the wiki, it does say, in Fallout 2, the Master's true name is revealed to be Richard Moreau. This may be a nod to the 1896 science fiction novel The Island of Dr. Moreau, about a scientist who conducts bizarre and cruel experiments on animals he has imported in an attempt to create sapient beings out of them.
Cool.
I was right.
Look at you with your big fucking brain and shit.
So is that all that we got on this Master?
I believe so, unless you want to say anything else.
No, but he does have some pretty hard quotes.
Oh, yeah, let me hear.
So what shall it be? Do you join the Unity, or do you die here? Join, die.
Wait.
Join, die.
Hold on, we have to read them together, because he speaks in 2 voices.
Do you want to do one?
Yeah, we have to read them together, because he has 2 male voices, a female voice, and a robot voice.
Alright, do you want to do the one that starts with excellent next?
You want to count it in?
Sure, on go.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Excellent. Your talents will be useful. But first, you must tell me everything.
Your
Vault. See,
I fucked it up.
no, we want to read it at different speeds.
Yeah, I know.
Let's do the
our flow is different.
Let's do the so. What shall it be together?
Okay.
You ready?
Yep. So.
Wait, you gonna count it in?
All right. Yeah. On go.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
So what shall it be? Do you join the Unity? Or do you die here?
Die here.
Join.
Die.
Join.
Die.
Cool. Let's do one more.
All right, and you can always make editing magic happen. Do I do the destroy me one?
I actually want to do this one. Of course, mutants are best equipped to deal with the world today. Who else? The ghouls? Please. Normals? That one.
Okay, cool. Let's do that one.
All right. Count it in.
All right, on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Of course, mutants are best equipped to deal with the world today. Who else? The ghouls? Please.
Normals?
They brought nuclear death to all of us.
This will be the age of mutants.
Mutants!
This is
Right,
either going to be...
You can make that work. You can make that work.
I fucked up the one line. All right. Master's fucking super tight. I wanted to talk to him for a long anus time, and now we did.
Super tight.
Baba boop, skip it a cream. Let's skip it over. Orange dreamsicle. I don't know.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Yeah. So we are done with lore. Atomic Radio Hour Podcast.